This morning I have here with me Pastor Matthew. Pastor Matthew, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So the Nigerian youth are found amiss looking at what their counterparts have done in Kenya, because we know that the very core of the protest was for the president to reject the finance bill. And yesterday, Ruto has come out to reject the finance bill. Secondly, in River State right now seems to be in full turmoil. In fact, Fubara was the only governor that was missing when the southern governors met, because he's having serious political tussles. And lastly, his machinery that Fubara appointed, which was Asa Abuja, has been declared wanted for terrorism or treasonable offences. Quickly, what are your reactions to this?
Um, Starting from that of Kenya, I think that's the beauty of democracy because, however I look at it, protest is legitimate, is lawful, is an instrument in the hand of the people, and the Kenyans deployed it and yielded results. Of course, it's the beauty of democracy. But let me say that when it goes overboard, when we see wanton destruction of lives and property, should be discouraged. Because don't forget that in that Kenya, we saw desecration of the hollow chamber of their hollow chamber, which is condemnable because it's a public institution, it's a government institution that needed to be protected. So, but however I look at it, I think people have been able to put pressure on government to listen to the people. Because what's the essence of governance? Welfare and security of the people. So if your policy is hitting hard on the people to the extent that is affecting their welfare, and the people now react, and we have seen the government responding by a way of reversing the policy that triggered the protest, I think it's a welcome development. Now looking at River State, I must tell you that it's a very terrible situation in River State right now, because I saw the governor while he was speaking talking about some persons trying to make the federal government to declare the state a state of emergency. And according to him, because don't forget that Senate Committee on Privatization visited River State, I think it's headed by Orji Zakalo. So he was trying to explain to them that the essence of people who wanted to detonate explosive in Hotel Presidential was to create the impression that the state is in serious crisis. And it was not by coincidence that the lawmakers who came from Abuja were in that facility, so that when they raise the issue at the level of Senate plenary, they could cite that it even happened in the presence of some lawmakers who came for oversight in River State. Having said that, I think we should think of how to douse tension in River State. If you look at what is happening in River State currently, you understand that currently the governor is the governor and the governor is the governor and the chief security officer of that state. So it is irrespective of whatever power, whatever authority, whatever political attainment an individual think he must have attained, or whatever romance the person may have had with the president or the presidency, that should not be used to undermine the institution of a state.
Are you insinuating that this attack was being masterminded by the former governor?
The reason I'm saying is not far-fetched. Currently, the tenures of the former local government chairman have elapsed, going by River State law. They have served their 3-year term. And the honorable thing is to allow the state electoral body conduct another election. It's another thing to say whether they will be fair in their process. But however I look at it, it behoves on the state electoral body to conduct the election. Having said that, we have seen a situation where even the highest authority of Nigerian police have said that their personnel will continue the occupation of local government secretaries in River State. That in itself is a recipe for anarchy. I understand that the governor's camp may be exercising restraint, knowing the power that the federal wields. So if you look at what is happening currently, the governor has said that the critical committee chairman will operate from alternative secretariats. And you have a situation where the police is protecting though they claim their interest is to protect life and property and perhaps avert breakdown of law and order. But I begin to wonder and doubt if there is sincerity in that, because if the electoral body, state electoral body, is making intention to conduct election and the state government legitimately appoint technical committee chairman, was it not proper for the police as an institution to protect those chairmen? So that's where I begin to look at an individual using power at the center to perhaps muzzle the state level, and which may not be healthy for our democracy. We have seen court cases for and against. Fubara may not have gotten it right in terms of choosing and picking which court order to obey. But if I look at it, Fubara is the legitimate governor of the state, and he have the power to make some policies and policies. And if you look at it, it's unfortunate that you have minority House of Assembly members who are lording over majority. A similar scenario played out in Edo State, where minority ruled for almost 4 years in the legislative arm of government, and we all know what transpired. And if you look at the circumstances surrounding the 27 House of Assembly members led by Martin Amaewhule, you begin to wonder, because they defected from PDP to APC, and the question is abundantly clear what should happen when people defect from the party that sponsored them into the house. And the other camp approached the courts on the strength of the defection. The court said they have lost their respective seats and that they should stop parading themselves as members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. I know they may have appealed it, but I'm not aware whether there is a stay of execution of that judgment. So to that extent, I think that is why the governor can legitimately rely on the decision reached and resolution from the hollow chamber of the minority who are now cutting the short in the state.
Finally, Mr. Matthew, do you think that if the Nigerians youth look up to the Kenyans and protest for the reversal of the subsidy removal and dollar revaluation, if they go all out, showing that political will, do you think we can achieve something?
For me, I think it is too late to start fighting for subsidy removal on gasoline. That notwithstanding, the other policy of unification of efforts at the official window, I've been an advocate that the timing is wrong, that the government can do something about it in terms of reversing it, push money into production, ensure that we produce, that when we start producing and exporting enough to bridge the gap, you cannot come back to implement that policy. I've been of the opinion that the timing of that policy is wrong. Just like Muhammadu Buhari rushed into TSA and crashed the economy of Nigeria in 2016. Record that Muhammadu Buhari came on board, met TSA policy initiated by Jonathan government, and he gave a deadline. After mopping up government funds from commercial banks, Adeosun, who was the then Minister of Finance, said Nigerian government realized 3.1 trillion. An economy you mop up 3.1 trillion must receive shock. The effect of that shock was the recession we went to in 2016. In the same vein, a Tinubu government came on board, rushed into the unification of Naira at the official window, rushed into subsidy removal of gasoline, and the economy, we have seen a skyrocketing price of food in Nigeria, to the extent that Nigerians are having it hard. So, to answer your question directly, yes, the efforts could be reversed, but the subsidy on gasoline, I think that one should stay.
Thank you very much for that wonderful submission, Mr. Matthew. Yes, if you are not joining us, please kindly like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Bye for now. Northerners are not ready, and in fact, they are not calling for regionalism. They are aggressively against the breakaway of the Nigerian government. And we know that the Northerners control the military. We know that the Northerners control the Nigerian politics. So this issue of secession Do you think this will ever come to pass?
No, let me tell you, it can and will come to pass. Secession can come to pass. Self-determination is powered by law. Disintegration has always been part of the system globally. You can see what happened in India. Kashmir, Pakistan, all of them pulled out. Look at Denmark, Norway. They were part all together before, but they parted ways peacefully. Singapore, Malaysia, they all parted ways. From their mother nation. So why is Nigeria being seen as something that is not possible? For me, I think there was, remember now, there was a clause when the colonial masters were about to leave Nigeria, where they said that after years, 100 years of this contraption, people can go their separate way. It's there. It's recorded. It is in the public thing. But why is it that a particular country a particular zone seems to have a partial influence? For me, I think it's a partial influence because the other bodies have not considered the damage the North has done to Nigeria. In terms of leadership, in terms of killings, in terms of decided and planned conquest. And in terms of making people to believe that they have military, they have all those things are rubbish. Let me tell you, the modern warfare is not fought by the capacity of military, the numbers of military, or the numbers of legion or league of arms men you have. What determines conquest at this point in time is technology, how advanced you are in terms of technology. That's when you talk about exploits in military conquest or war. So if they are still living in the past, thinking that they have the military power, they have the connection, they can all those things. If you do a thorough investigation into it, you discover they were just mere propaganda. And I can tell you today, tomorrow, anytime, that is a mere propaganda. If something that happened in 1967 is going to repeat itself, let me quote when Fani Kayode was still sane, his normal self, what he normally said, about the North. He said what the Northerners will experience is what they call fury, not even war. That tells you, the level of destruction that will come to the North in case that Igbos or Biafrans is being threatened. But I can tell you that Nigeria does not possess that power, to announce Biafra. What we are looking at that international scene, at that international level, where the United Nations, of course, the United States government, can issue a fiat, or an executive order, through the United Nations Security Council, and that's the end of it. Biafra comes, and that is how it is being done anywhere in the world. Because if you continue to push referendum in the Senate, for them to be ratified, because they enjoy a level of majority, it will be difficult for you to get to third at the end of the day. So in a situation like this, where the agitation has become very significant, the world leaders, and of course I'm talking about United States of America, and of course the US Security Council, can issue a fiat in that direction, and that solves the issue of Biafra. And that is what we are looking at, and that's the direction we are looking at. And you can see recently the brilliant move made by Simon Ekpa, in the United States of America, where the Justice Department recognized Biafran government in exile. They are pushing for it, and we are looking at a position where that IPOB will not be contaminated. They will not send or give IPOB the kind of virus that will make the United Nations to distance themselves from them. So it's something that we know that will definitely come, and when it comes, that will be the end of Nigeria and the end of the day.
Thank you very much for that wonderful submission, Mr. Chinedu.
Thank you.